If you haven't already figured it out, self-publishing involves implementing a whole bunch of different strategies. At the same time, there are a lot of different tasks necessary to do the entire process, both from figuring out the keywords that are right for your book, writing the book itself, editing the book, getting the book formatted, getting a cover for your book, getting this all together, posting this, running ads, doing content marketing, maybe perhaps producing videos, podcasts, blogs, an email list. There are so many tasks. But how exactly can you do all of this by yourself in order to get these things done? And the answer is you shouldn't be doing it alone. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. So in today's video, we're going to discuss how one of my absolute favorite companies that I like, which is OnlineJobs.ph, help you find a virtual assistant in order to take that load, the items and the tasks that you are doing that you do not wish to be doing, and hand them over to other employees who absolutely would love to do them. And of all of the things I promote, and I am an affiliate of them, and I've used them for years and years and years, the thing is, they are probably one of my absolute favorite companies to work with. I like the way they set everything up. I like the people who created the company. There's so many aspects that are fantastic. But do you, as an author, as a self-publisher, or an aspiring self-publisher, do you actually really need help? Well, as an author, with all of these different tasks that you're trying to juggle, I do suggest the first time you're going through it to just learn the steps yourself, so that you're familiar with, okay, here are the different roles and here are the different things that you're going to need in order to get the book together. It's kind of like if you're building a house, you're going to have the electricity, you're going to have the plumbing, you're going to have the foundation, the main structures. There's so many different things you're going to need in your house, and I suggest that you learn most of these steps the very first time you're going through it, because if you did hire a virtual assistant, what would you tell them they need to do? Well, you would have to already know what it is you're going to ask them for help on. But one of the questions that comes up so often when dealing with virtual assistants, I don't even understand, do I even really need a virtual assistant at all? And the answer is, your motivation is the most important resource that you have as an author or self-publisher. And the only way you're going to progress through this thing year after year, which is what it takes. I do not promise you put a book out there and you're just going to see millions of sales like maybe some other fake gurus have a tendency to say. Because in reality, it's going to take a while to build a brand around what you're writing on, assuming you also are following the keywords and all of these things. And during this period of time, we want to be able to take your time and focus it on the things that matter most to you. And that's one of the reasons why virtual assistants in the Philippines is a fantastic option to help alleviate this problem of keeping your motivation high, handing over these tasks to others who would just as well be willing to do them, that you don't wish to do any longer, and then you're able to continue the rate of production and keeping your motivation incredibly high. So there's a couple of things. Which tasks should we give? Well, any of the tasks that are not your primary task. So for example, as a writer, that would be a task that you alone should be doing. So you will be writing your books yourself, but do you need to be doing the editing and the formatting of these? Well, these are options. These are things you can definitely hand over to your virtual assistants. And the best part of it is there are so many different types of virtual assistants with many different backgrounds to choose from, so that you can find the right virtual assistant that will work great in your business. Then the next step when you're hiring one is that you're going to want to have them, you're either going to build out some instructions. You're going to say, here is how I work. And I personally like to use Google Slides for this. And so we build out a work instruction, and then we hand it over, and then the VA, the virtual assistant, will take a look at the work instructions, and then see if they can help improve. And we go back and forth, and we're able to make the instructions even better. The other thing I really like with OnlineJobs.ph is that the prices are incredibly reasonable. So you're only going to pay about $70 to simply create the initial applications, the job posting, and then up to 200 people can directly apply for that specific job posting. You can do up to 3 a month. So this is like a fantastic deal. And the best part is when you cancel, you still maintain all of the services and those virtual assistants, because at that point, it's between you and them to do the paying. And the thing is, this gives you the ability to leverage and expand your business. I would suggest that we start waiting until we have some basic money coming in, and then at that point, we're able to reinvest it in hiring in additional employees and help to do those tasks in your business. I personally, on a regular daily basis, ask, what tasks am I doing that I can hand to somebody else to have them do instead. Because if they're doing those, now initially it takes more work to explain it all, but over a period of time that really isn't that long, they get the hang of it very quickly. They're very, very bright people who are able to move through these steps and able to figure it out and even tell you how to improve your process. So the first thing is, for the $70 a month, because you can also pay for free, you can post a job, but they just can't hire. They had some issues with people scamming both directions, the VAs scamming employers and employers scamming VAs, and so they decided to at least have a pay tier. So, but for $70 a month, and I'm not even going to discuss the $150 a month tier because they have a whole bunch of other services, but just at the $70 a month, I consider is the best option. And you can, again, you can use the services and then cancel. That's actually what I do myself. I do not go month after month on OnlineJobs.ph. And so the first thing is you can communicate with the workers. So you can go back and forth with them. You can even communicate off platform. There's no rules like on Upwork. They do not want you moving off, or Fiverr to a different platform. Whereas on Online Jobs, they have no problem at all with that. The next thing is you can hire them part-time or full-time. So you just click a single button and you've hired them. Once after they've agreed to the terms of the employment. The next is you can create 3 job posts per month, as I was mentioning before, with a maximum of 200 applicants per job. The best part of the $70 one is there's no approval process. It is immediately approved when you post the job, because they know if you're going to scam your VAs, which is a terrible idea, then obviously they're just going to shut your account down. And so at least they get $70 before you do something like that. But I personally am very clear. Here's exactly what you'll be paid. Here's how you will receive the payments. All of these sorts of things is a very helpful way of doing it, because it ensures you're going to get the best work out of the employees. If they know for 100%, they're always going to get paid. Even if they do a terrible job and it's not a good match, they still get paid 100% of the time. So we keep that positive relationship going, and it makes it easier to bring in new VAs as well. Okay, so the next thing is you're going to be able to view the job applications. So you'll be able to see the people who are applying. You post the job, you'll be able to see who's applying for the job and see if their credentials match. And they measure all sorts of things like IQ and their backgrounds and their education. There are plenty of things to figure out to make sure that this is exactly a good match. And these VAs may be doing all your social media. They may be helping you with formatting your videos or creating apps or whatever it might be that you wish for them to do. There are some people, the skill sets are crazy high. The ability to find virtual assistants who can do almost any task that you want, as long as you clearly explain what exactly you want. But how do we know what work they're even doing? Well, that's a beautiful aspect. They have a program called Time Proof that gives you the ability to track and see what's going on with your VAs on a daily basis. So I find that to be very helpful. And at the end of the month, you simply pay based upon the hours that this app has shows you that they've worked. And the best part of this one, it's that at the end of the month, if you cancel your subscription, Time Proof continues to work. This is an absolutely free service that is completely, really amazing. It gives you complete control compared to, I was previously using another service, but it was costing $250 a year for 4 VAs. And so I decided, no, we're just going to move over to Time Proof. There's just no reason not to. It's such a good piece of software that really does everything you need to do. You're also, for the $70 a month plan, going to be able to bookmark your workers. So you can bookmark them, so maybe you want to come back later to hire them if you change your mind. And this is something you can do. It's that, look, you decide the terms of the agreement. So you can say, look, I'm going to hire a lot of people, and then we'll just test out everybody. Everybody gets paid, but you tell them in advance, this is a trial period just to see if this is a good match for you and for me. And so it just makes a fantastic way of doing that. And then when it comes time for payment, you can use Easy Pay, assuming you have a Payoneer account. But if you don't do that, then I recommend you use Wise. Wise is what I personally like to use when paying my VAs. It's a really, really simple way of doing it, and I have a whole process involved with how to do this. If you want to know more, just please contact me now or get on my email list. That's the easiest way to grab my free checklist below. The next thing is you can contact up to 75 workers per month. So when you do a search, it'll pull up a whole list of workers and you can contact them, which is also a really nice thing. But I generally like to just post the job, see if it's of interest to who it's of interest to, and then we go from there because they're already able to see it. So it sort of filters it, as opposed to if they have really high expectations, they're able to right from the start see that this is or is not going to work. The next thing is you're able to read worker reviews, so you can see exactly how have these workers done for other employers. I personally do not use this service at all. I hire people in, I have them move through a process, and we see whether or not they're able to do the process. If we're having issues and difficulties, then it's usually not a good match. Does that make sense? Or if they disappear, suddenly aren't doing any work at all, it's also probably not a good match. There's nothing personal. I still pay everybody, but then we see if we can find some additional people, pay another $70. We go another month, put out the ads, and bring in even more virtual assistants into the loop. And then I have them do all sorts of stuff related to the books. They do the formatting, the cover formatting. They put together the descriptions and the meta things, the editing, all sorts of tasks. I have it where it's just amazing the amount of work that they're able to do if you give them some clear instructions, and they can even create the instructions themselves. Some of my VAs will just create the instructions, and then I will use that in the main thing. So when new VAs come, they can simply use the previous VA's instructions in order to show them how to do the different tasks. And we have so many different types of tasks that I'm able to rotate VAs around, doing things from setting up ads to uploading books to assigning ISBN numbers, all sorts of stuff. It's just unlimited. It's almost up to you to sort of figure out what tasks you need to be done. But I can say one thing: motivation is the thing that's going to kill your ability as a self-publisher and as an author to continue keeping on, because you're going to lose your motivation. But if you can bring on a team, and I suggest bringing on one VA, pay $70, post your job, hire one VA, and just start getting used to working with somebody and giving them tasks. The idea is to get these tasks off your plate. It's not to micromanage people, but to say, okay, so here's how we do this task. Hand it over to them and then let them do it. If you want to learn more about this, and I can guarantee you this is a good match for you, you can check out OnlineJobs.ph. As I mentioned, I am an affiliate, so I get a small fee commission, but you do not pay anything extra. It's the top link in the description, and check up above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.